hear our leaders speak. So.
Any other guests?
Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Nichols, I'm with the Bird Group. We've been in North Carolina here for about 6 or 7 months. So we got Tommy Kelleher's and been here about 3 or 4 times now. I really enjoy getting a chance to interact with everybody here and build some relationships and meet people and see what this organization is all about. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
And of course, last but by no means least, Kathleen.
Thank you. I'm Kathleen Cody. I'm with the North Raleigh Rotary Club, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the MLK Day of Service Meal Pack next month.
Thank you very much. One almost got away. If you'd like to introduce yourself, please, sir.
My name is Kyle Chris. I'm trying to next year a couple of times. Just an educator started the literacy called Chris Creative.
Thank you, Peter. Welcome to all our guests and obviously to all our members that are here as well. So we had a very sad event happen over the last few days. Dick Sinclair, the husband of Racine Mitchell Sinclair, passed away after a very lengthy illness. And so I wanted to let you know about that. There's not going to be a public announcement about it. And I don't know how many people here work at IBM, but Racine was a member of this club for many years. She was president of the club. She was a district governor and a powerful district governor. She was instrumental working side by side with Mary Moss to raise about $250,000 for the Wake Smiles project. And you may not know it, Racine was at IBM. Her designation was the senior state executive. She was the highest ranking executive in North Carolina for IBM, a very prominent position. But she was willing to be humble. She went to the Dominican Republic to build the tree. And over the last several years, she spent 24 hours with her husband, and couldn't have a better friend, a better nurse, and a better wife. Everywhere on your tables, you should see a couple of cards. What we would like you to do is just write a note of condolence to Racine, R-U-S-I-N-E. And even if you don't know her, maybe just thinking of yourself, you'll have to share the cards because we don't know what. But do that, leave them on the table, we'll gather them, and then we'll deliver them to Racine. But just an encouragement for her at this time. So let's go ahead and do that as we go through the meeting. And now I'm really excited to have Diamante come up. Diamante has stepped up to be our new membership chair. There he is, coming from the back of the room. And so he has stepped up, he came into the club ready to work, anxious to work, and I'm thrilled to put him in this role. And he's got some great news for us today as well.
All righty, everybody, glad to see all these smiling faces in Rotary today. But just to make it real simple, we're gonna let you know we got a couple of first readings today. So with that being said, I would like to have David Williams come up. And I would like to have Mark Langos come. Tommy, can you come up as well too? Is David Forrest in the writing chance? No, that's fine. All right, so the first one we want to go with is David Williams. David Williams, to my left right here, is a native from Raleigh, North Carolina. David is married with 2 children. His children's names are Megan and Brittany. David has developed a passion for photography in high school, covering Wake Weekly, since high school, actually. He opened his first studio in 1990. Basically what he does is photography for corporate and commercial institutions. David's favorite hobbies consist of him being a great triathlete. He coaches people that are 50 and under. Basically just to let you guys know too, this gentleman right here decided to come today. This says a lot about his character. his daughter's having his first grandson today. And this gentleman decided to be here today, so we greatly appreciate it and we'd love to have you. So, everybody, if you don't get to know David, please get to know him. He's an excellent guy. I love talking to him already, so it's gonna be a great Rotary. The next person we'd like to have is Mr. Mark Langos. His sponsor is Tommy. Basically, just to give you a little brief information about Mark. Mark is born and raised in Michigan. His family currently reside there. He's the father of 3. And he's actually been married for over 25 years. Right? 25. I'll come up, what we say to speak to existence. It's 25 years, all right? Mark received his bachelor's degree from Eastern Michigan. His occupation, though, allows him to travel here from Michigan to North Carolina every single month. What he does is actually, he's the VP of Sales and Marketing for the Neon Burger. This organization basically consists of helping facility management provide multiple services for businesses such as janitorial services and other maintenance. On Mark's free time, he actually loves sports, coaching, and likes to play poker from time to time, all right? So if you love to play poker, speak to Mark, but also too, he's a great guy, love him as well too. And then the last person we'd like to have, Mr. Tom Jordan, can you please stand up real quick? This is his actually going on the second reading. If you don't know, he was at our Christmas event. If you guys missed out, that was a great time. We had a fun time at that event. But basically, Tom Jordan, he is also too, he's the owner of Carolina Auction and Realty. He actually is the director of NAA Education Committee and also the NAA, it's been an NAA member since 2001. With his auction business, he sells businesses, I mean, all types of different things. So that's the first thing I asked him, like, what are you selling now? So, I mean, anything. So if you guys want to look forward also too, to get to know Tom, please get to know him as well too. Great guys. We have some great gentlemen going. You guys can have a seat. And we're right. Really quick, we have our service social on January 29th at 4 p.m. at Pinnacle Bank. All right, just want to make sure, and if you have any other questions about membership or anything like that, please feel free to see me. Also too, I'm looking for any other business owners out here that are in the Rotary Club, want to host the service social event, please get in contact with me. Okay, have a great day.
All right, you can be on that. Great job. You can see why we're excited to be on our team. So, Devon, this is your first week. 3 new members. We have about 20 new members, so we should have 60 more by the end of the year. Yes. Cool. All right, with that, John, our fundraising.
Greetings, everybody. First of all, we have a winner for the fantasy football league. And believe it or not, the commissioner is now a champion. As a commissioner, we don't have a trophy yet, nor do we have any kind of award. But I do believe as the treasurer, you can award yourself a cash prize.
There was $400 for the winner, $200 for the second place. Wes really pushed me. I had Josh Allen on my team, and they sat we gave teams. So you feel like sweating bullets, trying to think somebody. But me, I'm getting a big old bed.
Great job. It was a lot of fun. Okay, next up, a big thank you to the folks that have stepped up already and are agreeing to sponsor the gala. It's 54 days until we celebrate 110 years of Rotary magic. For a century, our club's been a force of transformation, weaving hope, service, and fellowship into the fabric of Raleigh and beyond. Think about it. As our president said, this is the year of Rotary magic. What is the magic of Rotary? It's the power of ordinary people coming together to achieve extraordinary. It's the spark that turns a simple idea into a project that feeds families, that builds homes for the mountain yards. It's the invisible thread that weaves between us that allows us to be part of something that's bigger and more important than ourselves. But now we have a chance to celebrate the legacy of magic at the venue that perfectly embodies it. All Saints Chapel in Dix Park. This historic space is filled with light, warmth, and possibility, and it will be the venue for our gala. A night to honor our past, to celebrate our present, and to dream boldly into our future. It's not another event, it's an enchanting evening as we come together with Rotarians to create magic in the lives of our community. Imagine walking into the chapel on March the 8th. It's been transformed into a place where history collides with vision, where magic exudes in the atmosphere, where food is provided by Rocky Top Catering, live bands, an open bar, and the chance to celebrate our club's legacy. Think about, magic doesn't happen on its own. It takes belief, it takes action, and the willingness to show up. The gala is our chance to show Raleigh and ourselves that the magic of Rotary is alive, thriving. So today, I invite you to be a part of that magic and a part of the celebration. Sponsor a table. Invite your friends. Bring your good energy. It'll be a special night. Your support is an investment into the magic that we've created for 110 years in Raleigh and bringing dreams and making them come alive. So let's come together and make this gala a night of wonder, a night of connection and inspiration. Let's show them what the magic of Raleigh truly looks like. Thank you.
Excited about it. I don't know what will. That's just a great setting of the context of this is about. So there's plenty of ways to participate. Don't be passive about being an active participant in sponsorship and attending and in those other things. So with that, I'm going to ask Richard, Kathleen, and Patty, I think they're already here, and Kevin as well, to come here to cover our services. Richard and Avery will go first, but first from the Cary Club, Rod Brooks has a quick announcement that he agreed to make with his seat, but please speak up really loud.
Thank you very much, you all. My name is Rod Brooks. I'm from the Raleigh Rotary Club. And what I wanted to share with you today is that in a couple of weeks, actually, on Friday, January 31st, we will be hosting our 22nd annual chili dinner fundraiser. Over prior 21 years, we've raised $600,000 to support hunger relief efforts for both international as well as domestic hunger, with the funds going distributed in this area to support relief right in our community. So I do have brochures. Tickets are available at the door on Friday, the 31st. I do have brochures. If you'd like more information, please see me. But I hope that you can attend. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Rod. Gary's been a great partner.
Hey, Coach Richard Neighbor, your service chair for the club. Happy New Year, you can still say that. Just a quick overview of the next 3 months. January, it will payday project, which we'll hear more about very shortly. February, we'll do our book collection. We'll wake up and read. Now, President Eric's thought process and strategy this year is not exactly to collect more books, but more amplify the message. I currently serve on the Raleigh Police Advisory Board. I want to pitch an idea to the board meeting Wednesday. We can partner with Raleigh Police and this book collection. I think it'd be really cool if we collect the books and maybe officers would distribute these books in our neighborhoods in our city. So more on that as we come. And then finally, in March, we'll have our stream cleanup at the stream we've adopted in Southeast Raleigh. That is March 22nd, Saturday from 9 to 12. That's a wonderful event. It's very impactful. So this will all be on the emails that go out. Thanks to Linda. But, hope you can join us, next Monday for our what Kathleen's gonna share about. Thank you very much.
The generous contributions of so many members down through the time of his life as well. We've been able to build a foundation. Not every Rotary Club has its own foundation, but we do. That foundation is now reached the limit where we were able to draw over $26,000 in interest last year for distribution. So we have in fact done that to a number of groups and organizations, some local, some national, some international. And we're going to be highlighting over the next few months each of those recipients. First one today is the Martin Luther King Day of Service that you'll hear about from Kathleen. Kathleen is the Public Image Chair for Rotary District 7710, and she is coordinator for the Martin Luther King Day of Service. So would you join me in welcoming Kathleen Cody?
It's so great to be here, and I just wanted to start by saying thank you to this club for supporting the MLK Day of Service meal packing event. I'm kind of new to this project, but it's been going on since 2007. How many people have been Rotarians since 2007? So quite a few, but some of you have not been around as long as this meal packing project has been going on. You might be surprised to know that this is the longest and largest funded district project over time. We get $26,000 from the district, and that's been matched this year by 18 Rotary clubs around the district. And you have been one of the gracious donors to that effort. This year, we were also able to add another sponsor. We have Duke University, who's been a sponsor from the beginning. This year, we've added Pinnacle Bank, thanks to Veronica, and also Wegmans. And so we're really proud that we're able to really honor MLK on this day of service with a community project that helps really address food insecurity. I said I was kind of new to this. I'm kind of shocked about the numbers of people who don't have enough to eat. In this state, 14% adults are food insecure and 20% of children. And it's just shocking to me. And I know that you all do some work with some of the schools and have probably heard how many students in our schools also go home and are food insecure. So this meal packing event is just a drop in the bucket of what the Rotary is trying to do to help address that issue. We are going to be packing this year 150,000 meals. Each meal feeds 4 people. And each of those meals costs us 32 cents to pack. So the reason we've been looking for sponsors is because all of the money that supports this project goes directly to the meals. All of the service and the volunteers are they're donating their time for this project. Our goal this year, we've got 3 locations. I mentioned 2 years ago, excuse me, I went to the Durham location. And it was such an amazingly run event that I said to Newman Aguiar, who was one of the original founders, is, you're doing this in Durham, you're doing this in Clayton, why aren't we doing this in Raleigh? And he said, well, all you have to do is raise a little bit of money to find a location. We'd be happy to do it in Raleigh. So we've been doing it in Raleigh. This will be our 2nd year in North Raleigh. I'm really kind of pleased and sad to tell you that we've gotten enough volunteers at all locations. We have 560 volunteers from the community and from the Rotary clubs. We send out the invitation to the Rotary clubs who have supported this event financially. And if you don't jump on them when it comes out in December, it's basically kind of sold out. So my challenge to you is, why aren't we doing this in another place in Raleigh? Or Rod, why aren't we doing this in Cary? So we could do 4 locations next year if we could find some sponsors. and somebody who would be interested in finding a location for us to do it. It's a really well-oiled machine, and we really would like to be able to continue to help address food insecurity in our communities. So, is there anybody here that did get signed up for Monday? Okay, Rob, will you be there? Okay, great. Good, well, we'll see you, we're gonna be at St. Rachel Catholic Church in North Raleigh on Monday at 9 o'clock. The mayor will be there at 9 o'clock to say a few words, so if anybody's been wanting to meet the mayor, come on out, meet the mayor at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much again for your support of this project.
Can't believe Eric's gonna let me talk. You guys know why I'm here, Salvation Army. Now, I will tell you right away, I don't have the financial number, but I hope to have those in a couple of weeks, but I do want to celebrate. And you guys did an amazing job. We did bell ringing, for 22 days this year. We covered 98% of the hours, so that's probably the most we've ever covered. I was really thrilled with participation. I guess my plea at the end of the project to get more people out there really worked. We had 337 out of 372 shifts covered. That's with the 2 people. 65 different Rotarians. So we tied the goal from last year. I was trying to beat it, but at least we had 65 different Rotarians. And I had 7 Rotarians that did 10 or more shifts. You guys need to look at the pictures. I hope that the best dressed one makes it up there. Braxton Wilson. Dressed up as in an inflatable outfit. So the next year, Peter, you didn't win the award this year, so you're gonna do something different next year. And our youngest bell ringer, Mark Hackett, had his granddaughter out there. His family has been ringing for years on Christmas Eve along with my family. So maybe next year I'll have to bring my 10-month-old. Thanks, man.
Rest of that. So one of our other service activities, service related activities is the Vocational Leadership Service Award. And Tom Packer, past president of this club, has stepped up and is running that, so he's going to give you a quick update on that. Tom?
Thank you, President Eric. Happy New Year, everyone. One of the things that sets us apart from maybe some other Rotary clubs is every year we award the Vocational Service Leadership Award. Several years ago, we appropriately renamed the award in honor of our past president, Wilson Heyman, who was a beloved, longtime member of the club, past president, who unfortunately left us and deserved much too early. And the award is named in his honor because he exemplifies everything that goes into this award. The award, for those of you who are new to the club or guests who are interested, we do it by receiving nominations from members of the club. And the deadline this year is the end of this month, January 31st. But the nomination is for a member in the community who is not a member of our club, but yet who has high ethical standards and has achieved distinction through exceptional leadership, creativity, and effort in his or her profession, business, or community service. So it can be a head of a nonprofit, it can be a head of a for-profit organization. In the past, we've given the award to a restaurateur who is very active in supporting charitable causes and who sponsors an annual large charitable race. We've given it to head of a roofing company who supports the Salvation Army and has for years. Last year, we gave the award, I believe, to a veterinarian, longtime veterinarian in the area who established a foundation and an endowment for NC State veterinarian students. So it can be a broad spectrum of people, but please to nominate someone, and again, we need your nominations by January 31st. When you go home after this meeting or right now, think about somebody who may fit the bill and qualify for this, and let either Linda know by telling her or emailing her, or go onto the club website. And there's a very obvious link where you can click on it and submit the nominations. And it's a very nice thing that we do to honor somebody in the community, and then we have an awards ceremony where we present it to the person who wins it and honors them. We've been doing it for many, many years. It's been very successful, and it's a nice exercise for us to think outside of our club and recognize somebody out there who, in addition to us, and then with our support, is doing good for everybody out there. So please keep that in mind, and think of someone to nominate again by the end of this month. Eric, thank you.
Thank you. So, we are really, full of announcements this time, so, we won't be having our, happy dollars this week. So I apologize for that, Charlie. Tom Holder came to me and says, don't do happy dollars, there's too many Carolina people in the club. But it's just a timing thing, I promise you. All right, so, the buckets are on the table for Dimension Alliance, so please put some coins and folding money in there as well. Coming up, we have birthday, we have a raffle. It's a raffle.
We did.
You always speak up.
Well, Tom Homer can't win everything, so if you guys have your tickets, pull them out. We got a hot pop today. When I say we got a hot pop, we did it right. We got $110 here for the winner today. So the club gets 110 as well. Thank you, everyone who participated. Well, let's call it out. I've got 825 223. Oh, Charlie.
$100 for sure.
Good job. All right, and then we have our birthdays and anniversaries coming up, I believe.
Yes. Not much.
Just a couple here. So we have, Holmes Martin, tomorrow, and then Terry Snow's birthday, and then we, on the 18th. No anniversaries, as Lynn pointed out to me, not a lot of people getting married, it's really, in January. We have a number of great upcoming meetings, and we are not meeting next week.
Shake's birthday last week.
Oh, okay, Shake had a birthday last week, so congratulations. Thank you. All right, no meeting next Monday, that's an LK day, and there's that, service project going on. On the 27th, we are having Randy Woodson, Chancellor of NC State, as our speaker, and it'll be at his place. So over, on the NC State campus, follow the instructions you get in your emails, sign up and do that. Randy does a great program every year, and they really put out on a wonderful program, food wise, entertainment wise, the speech, everything. So please be here. Those who don't know, Randy's retiring at the end of this academic year. So this will be our last chance to hear from him. He's always a fantastic speaker. Marjorie Hodges is coming up, Diggs Park Conservancy. We have another one coming up. We're working on a program that we'll announce in a bit. And then we're not even President's Day, but then we have NASA the week after that coming and talking to us about the Deep Space Network. And then Heather Lee, who I've been chasing for a long time, finally got in touch with her. She does Hidden Raleigh. And if you've ever seen that on the internet, if you've seen that on WRAL, fascinating stories. Like there's an abandoned university in the middle of Raleigh that most people probably don't know about. All kinds of interesting things like that. So with that, we're going to go over to our program. And so I'll ask Grace to do the introduction, but Bruce is a longtime friend. He mentioned in his greeting earlier that he is a former member of this club, a longtime member of this club. And so Grace will do the formal introduction, but I would say before you leave today, we need to talk to Diamante, our membership chair. We do renewals as well, or we have corporate memberships, but we're thrilled you're here today and the great work that you do as well. So I'll turn it over to Grace.
Well,
Good afternoon, all. If I haven't had the chance to meet you guys, my name is Grace Massarelli, and I'm fired up for today's speaker. Bruce Ham is legendary, an awesome speaker, captivating, all the things. I'm a YMCA kid, turned teenager, turned young adult, turned adult. I don't feel like an adult, but they tell me that I am. But the YMCA Triangle has been a central part of Bruce's life since 1985. He started first as a youth program bus driver that led to decades in branch operations and development to his current role as CEO and president of the Y. There are few entities which have impacted the trajectory of Bruce's life as much as the YMCA has. Bruce began his current role as CEO in January of 2023, taking lead of an association with 22 branches and camps that serves nearly 250,000 constituents and employs more than 4,000 people during the summer months. I was employed by the YMCA with, John's stepdaughter, Sarah Holt, and we had a great time at the after-school and camp programs. He's deeply committed to making sure that, the children, teens, families, young adults, and seniors all feel welcomed and supported when they walk into the Y. Bruce has served on the board of the North American YMCA Development Organization, and outside of the Y is heavily involved in the community within his church and local organizations like Rotary, Youth Mission Co., St. Mary's School, Theater in the Park, the Cary Chamber of Commerce, and UNC Blind River's Single Fathers Due to Cancer Initiative. He graduated from NC State with a degree in speech communication, a qualification he uses daily in his storytelling, as you all will see today. Bruce and his wife Julie live in Raleigh with their new dog and an open door to their 5 children. I spoke to my aunt who worked with Bruce in the late 80s and 90s, trying to kind of get some tea on any fun story I might be able to tell. And I think this speaks to just his character and fun spirit. He was a youth director in early 90s and lost a bet at day camp and had to spend all day on the roof overlooking the playground at the Central YMCA before it became Alexander. He had the lounge chair, the cooler, the whole thing for just kind of showing up for his kids. And I think that speaks volumes. If he does something, he does it 100%. He's committed. So in the YMCA, let's give 2 claps for Bruce Ham.
Seeing my checkers, I do remember that day well. I was actually engaged to the assistant youth director. She was up there with me and we had an argument that day. And so I remember it very, very well. I used to be a member of this club. I was a member for, it's probably 10 years ago. Some of y'all have gotten old. I'm just saying. Thank you for letting me be here.
If you want to push down, it'll flip the slides for you.
Oh, right.
Down.
No, down.
There you go.
There we go. So I am excited to be here today. I realize y'all will walk out the door at 1:30. So I'll get started now. This is a picture of me up there when in 1985, I was sophomore at NC State. At the time, the appeal to me to work for the Y was you got a free parking place if you worked at the Central Y and you could walk to campus from there, and I was broke. And so I drove a bus. My first job was a bus driver. We'd go pick up kids in neighborhoods around downtown, bring it back to the Y for swim time, playing in the gym, and a devotion. And on the way home, back to Halifax Ford, I would go down Morgan Street there by Charlotte Goodnight's. And there was a big dip in the road or a bump in the road where the food hall is. And the kids would start chanting, airplane, airplane, airplane. And I'd gun it, and we'd pop up, and the tires would come off the ground, and the kids would fly all over the place. Megan, don't tell anybody I did that. Now we have a risk management department, and you cannot do that. I would get fired if my boss knew I did that. The YMCA actually was founded in London, England in 1844, and it started as a Bible study for young men who were getting into trouble. And we still have young men who are up to some shenanigans coming to the YMCA after school and in the summertime, and the YMCA is a good place for them to be. Got a question. What do all of these things have in common? Black History Month, Father's Day, the Peace Corps, the USO, volleyball, racquetball, and basketball.
Wow.
What's that?
The Y.
The Y, that's right. If they weren't founded at the Y was a partner in founding these organizations or these events. And so we're very proud of our history. I want to give you a little understanding of the overall YMCA in the United States, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the scope of our work. So there are 2,500 YMCAs in America. 13 million people are served, 10,000 communities, and 77% of the US population lives within a 10-mile drive of a YMCA. In Raleigh, the Triangle area, we have 22 locations. We serve 7 counties, and we have programs in about 100 program sites across Wake County, Orange County, Durham, Chatham, Lee, Pamlico, and Johnston counties. Has anybody in here ever participated or had a kid participate in a YMCA program? All right, so we got a lot of folks out there. Charlie Upshaw's kid was in my after-school program 100 years. Burke Haywood, your son Burke was there. I can't remember my kids' boyfriends' names, but I know the kids who were in my after-school program back in the day. Out of all the Ys in the country, the Raleigh YMCA is the 4th largest from a budgetary perspective, which is pretty impressive. When you think about the population of places like San Diego, New York, Houston, Seattle, we have a much smaller population, but our YMCA is really, really big. When you think about overnight camping, we have 3 camps: Camp Seagull, Camp Seafair, and Camp Canada. And our Y is the largest YMCA in service youth and overnight camping. Our camp served 6,800 children last summer and 9,000 folks not in the summertime. It is an incredible way to build a kid's sense of self-worth. My youngest daughter went to camp at age 6. And when I picked her up at the end of the week, her counselor said Annie did not cry the whole time at camp, just at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime. And this past summer, Annie was a counselor at camp, and she ran all the land activities. There's a lot of boating going on at Camp Seafair. She ran all the land activities, overseeing about 60 staff members, and had a great, great time. So you can grow up if you attend camp. Many of y'all have been to Camp Canada. This is up in the Wake Forest area. And if you haven't seen our camps, this is Camp Seagull on the coast of North Carolina on the Neuse River. And this is Camp Seafair, about 7 miles of land from Camp Seagull. To tell you a little bit, we are really an economic engine for this area. We employ 450 full-time staff. And this past year, an additional 5,650 part-time staff, 61% of them were under the age of 25, which is why my hair is growing grayer by the day. We are the top employer of teenagers in the Triangle area. And let me tell you, Grace mentioned this, kids that come to us gain leadership abilities. They learn responsibility, dependability, conflict resolution. They understand if they don't meet expectations, they will lose their job. And they may lose it and get hired back a year later, but we do a lot of coaching and training for our folks. And some of our staff become really powerful and incredible people. Scotty McCreary is an old YMCA kid for us. So you never know what's going to happen if you work at the Y. We run significant day camps at the Y. We have 55 camps at schools and churches and parks. And last summer served 13,744 kids in day camp. We have huge membership. We're not as big as many Y's on membership. We've got a lot of youth programs. But one of the things that I'm most excited about is we are doing significant work in evidence-based health programs. So we have insurance companies reimbursing people for programs like diabetes prevention. If you take our diabetes prevention program,
you are 58% more likely to get rid of those symptoms and get off your medications. We also run Moving for Better Balance for those who are a little older and might need some help with that. We have Livestrong for cancer survivors, blood pressure self-monitoring, so a lot of work in the wellness realm. Our childcare revenue is pretty significant, and we have 100 after-school sites in our region, which is pretty significant. Last year, we took over Orange County school systems after-school programs. So a lot of good work there. Let me tell you, teens are struggling right now, y'all. We are seeing kids who have significantly more anxiety, teens who are struggling with depression, a lot of issues. I've been reading The Anxious Generation. I think a lot of it, I believe it's true, comes from technology and kids being raised with so much at their fingertips. But last Tuesday, I was at our Northwest Cary YMCA. It was 3:58 p.m. I looked at my watch, and there were 31 teenagers playing basketball. And then I went upstairs to the workout area where we have treadmills and weights. There were 42 teenagers on the weight room floor. There were 10 middle schoolers in our after-school program at the SWAT standing in a circle, engaged in a game, and there were 9 teenagers working for us. If you put that together at that one point, that 15-minute period of time that I was walking around, 92 teenagers were at the Northwest Cary YMCA, and I did not see one phone, not one phone. It's really important that kids have a place that they can go to be unplugged, to think about their mental and physical wellness, and to gain leadership skills. Now, you all have been supported in the past, and some of you all support yourselves, but we have an annual campaign every year. And last year, we raised $9.8 million. We had 14,000 donors, and 100% of those dollars go to support folks in our programs who cannot afford to be a part of the YMCA. So last year, we served, it's been great. It won't take a while, regardless of your ability to pay. Last year, we served 22,282 folks on financial assistance. If you want to come to after school and you can't afford it, you tell us what you can pay and we let you come. The same is true for membership and day camp and overnight camp. So it's a critically important part of our work. One other thing that we do that a lot of folks don't know is our YMCA does a ton of work supporting education. This is really important to me. Did you know that in Wake County, over 40,000 kids are not meeting school benchmarks? That's pretty significant, but the Y has answers. We've got 2 summer camps serving several thousand children. Actually, it's 8 locations. One of the programs is like summer camp, which is a little bit of education in there to ensure that kids meet school benchmarks and don't lose ground in the summer. That's called Camp Excel. The other one that I'm really excited about, we serve 4 schools. We've had 300 kids this past year, is called Y Power Scholars. And that's where we collaborate with Wake County. They provide the kids for us. We hire Wake County teachers and they provide transportation. We support and pay the staff. And last summer, in 5 weeks, the kids in that program gained 1.5 months in math and 2 months in reading. And y'all, these kids normally slip back 3 months in the summertime. So it's pretty impressive. We had 300 kids last year. We could have, with funding, 10,000 kids in this program. And Wake County wants to partner and make this happen. I told you we had about 4,000 kids in these programs last year. We also have an after-school tutor program. Another big focus for us is strengthening families. And so our YMCA is concerned about housing insecurity, food insecurity, mental health issues, substance abuse, and language barriers. This afternoon at 3:30, we have a family that we've been working with. We have 5 family navigators that help families navigate various things in the community. And this afternoon, Wheels for Hope is giving one of our families a car, and they do a little ceremony. So at 3:30, I get to go see this family receive the keys to their car. So I'm very excited about that. But these folks, kid can come to the Y, but if they're hungry, they aren't going to learn. If they don't have housing, they're going to be exhausted. We had a kid that would sleep at camp. They'd go swimming, and after school, they would sit in the lobby on a bench and sleep. And we asked the parent, and they were living in a homeless shelter, and the kid was scared. And so they didn't sleep at night, but he felt safe at the Y. And so we've hired these navigators to help families as they have issues and working in partnership with other nonprofits. One thing that we did that was huge, and many of y'all have heard this, but several years ago, we opened the Southeast Raleigh Y. We bought 32 acres of land, and on that property, we built a YMCA, a Wake County Public School, 120 units of affordable housing. And we recently opened our last building, which has a bank, an urgent care, and a couple of other amenities that the community had asked for. In this zip code 27610, the life expectancy is 12 years less than if you live in 27614. 12 years less. And when the YMCA learned that, that's when we went in and made the decision to invest significantly in the Southeast Raleigh community. We're also working hard to combat isolation. There are a lot of those who are struggling and thinking about suicide. There are a lot of senior adults who are struggling. I would say if you are miserable, they say misery loves company. I would say it doesn't love company. I would say it is absolutely necessary that if you are sad or isolated, you need company. I had an older woman call me one day and say, Bruce, I have cancer. I'm going to pass away soon. Would you speak at my funeral? And I said, well, certainly, Sarah, I would do that. She said, I feel like you could probably think of 1 or 2 nice things to say. And I said, well, absolutely, I can. But she said, the Y's been my second home. It's where my family is. She said, it's like my church. I would love for every senior citizen and every team who's struggling to have a place to go like the YMCA. And when you walk in our doors, you'll see a lot of diversity. You'll see folks of different ages, different religious backgrounds. You'll see folks that have very different political views. But when you're standing on a treadmill sweating, doesn't matter the political views of the person next to you, right? It simply doesn't matter. This is the Y that I was telling you about that had 92 teams. I won't go into it, but it was a collaborative partnership with the church. Northwest Cary YMCA partnered with Cross Point Church. They were going to build a fellowship hall and instead decided to go in with us and build an entire facility. And I'm proud to announce that next month we will open our Chatham Park YMCA. We're giving hard hat tours right now. We've sold 1,000 memberships, and it's going to be an awesome addition to Pittsburgh. And then I got to tell you, what can you do? Well, if you really want to help our community, and you're already doing it because you're in Rotary, but get involved. Serve on a board or a committee for a nonprofit in the area. I get lunch about once a quarter with Eric Gukian at the United Way and Charles Flowers with the Scouts and We're pulling in the guy from Boys and Girls Club. Any of these nonprofits are doing incredible work. Serve and give your time. Help connect the nonprofit community to each other and to leaders that can help us solve problems. And then finally, make a gift. What we do is not free. It takes a lot of resources, and we need you to invest. I appreciate y'all giving me the time to be here today. Want to make sure you get out on time. I don't know if we have time for a couple of questions.
If we have time for some questions, so.
We've got a couple of minutes if anybody has any questions. Yes, sir.
How do we get you to come back and rejoin Rotary Club?
You know, Charlie Upshaw kicked me out about a decade ago. Bruce, tired of you, you gotta jump out, so he booted me. But I need to think about that. I'll have some conversations with some of my friends here, see how that schedule works. Thank you for the invitation. I know how to be that, and I'm not sure if I get through that.
Yes, historically, the YMCA, started, and always house people.
Right.
And its origins. Is that still part of the mission nationwide, or?
It is not. We have gotten out of the hotel business, and what we moved to, for the most part, there are about 3 YMCAs that still have dormitories. What we have decided the best thing for us to do is like we've done in Southeast Raleigh, where we find someone that's really their core business, like DHIC, and we partner with them. And so we brought DHIC to the table, and they actually have a 50-year ground lease with us, and they built 120 units of affordable housing. I would like to replicate that in Chapel Hill on our piece of land there as we look at rebuilding. And I'm very curious about Capitol Boulevard. I have some real interest because I feel like that's a gap in service for us and maybe for a lot of folks in that community. And so I'm really curious about how we might be able to replicate this in other areas, and I'm having some conversations about that. Yes.
The current YMCA membership, or YMCA membership levels compared to the past, has it been growing over the years? Is it?
Yeah, so it's interesting, in many communities, YMCA membership has not rebounded from COVID. So our membership was cut in half during COVID. We had some great members that used us and continued to pay, even though we were just outside in the parking lot doing things. What we have discovered with our wine, I think it's because we've got people like Megan Gates who are really good with members and care about folks. And we have really great facilities with a couple of exceptions of things that we're working on. But what we found was when members came back, the people who dropped during COVID were those members who were paying but not using. And so the ones that stayed were folks who were using. And so our membership scans, people scanning their cards, has gone up significantly, which helps us meet our mission. But I kind of miss those folks that maybe didn't use us, right? Didn't take up a parking space. No, but we really, our wine is thriving. We have more members now than we have pre-COVID. But there are a lot of communities that have not rebounded from COVID. Yes.
How's the downtown like it?
The one on Favorite Street is struggling, to be honest. We have a great YMCA, and I would never say this out loud to others. Megan, don't tell anybody. It's my favorite. Why? Because it's not very crowded, and they have hot yoga, which I really like. But it's on Fayetteville Street, and there isn't parking. And we opened it right before COVID and right before the riots, as downtown was really rebounding, and because the people have not come back to the offices, we have not been able to fill that Y as we originally anticipated. But it's a great little Y in one of our newer facilities, and very, very nice. So I encourage you to go down and look at that Y. It's the Pointer Y on Fayetteville Street. And now there's free parking in the city decks for 2 hours. So that's actually. All right, thank y'all so much for having me.
Thank you for bringing something, and congratulations on all the success of the innovative programs. That's spectacular. And to Kevin's question, I was wondering if Barney could still get the corner room and keep her all over Mayberry, but not anymore.
I'll let him stay with me.
Okay, fair enough. So, I'm the president of this club, but Linda is the emperor of the club, and she said, how dare you cancel Happy Dollars, because she has a Happy Dollar, so I'll give an exception for Linda, if you can speak up really loud and quick.
$1 because over New Year's, my daughter and her longtime boyfriend got engaged.
Congratulations, so let's all rise, Rotarians, as we recite the four-way pattern. On the things we think, we say, and do.
Is it the truth?
Official